In this video, we're going to continue our tutorial on Auld Lang Syne Jazz Piano. It's coming up to New Year's Eve, and this is something that you want to play with your trio. So I've put a link to the sheet music below and also the backing track, bass and drums, so you can practice along with it. Where we left off in the last video was we were coming up to the C section in the last two bars. And we learned that instead of playing 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, we're playing 3, flat 3, 2, flat 2, which is like going down in half steps using the tritone substitutions. And then we're playing this B flat 7, flat 9 chord in front of the E flat major 7. And essentially what this does is just repeat the first section. It's just the melody notes are a little bit different. And we did change the last bar here. It's a little bit different than the A section because it's got this E flat sus to E flat. The fourth of the chord is sustained and then it resolves to the third of the chord. Let's just take a quick screenshot. So again, what it does is this note falls to become the third of the next chord. Like a cadence, and I'm sure you've heard that before. So it's not that big a deal. Again, a link to the sheet music is below so you can get this and practice it. It's always fun to reharmonize this stuff. So then what happens is it jumps into swing. The interesting thing about this is, I don't usually do this, but what I've done is I've written out a left-hand comping part for you. So what I would suggest that you do with that left-hand comping is you just play it by itself. So if you count off 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you can just play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you've got to get the voicings right. So essentially, so it's a little bit tricky, but again, the whole point of comping is to comp on the ands, not on the beat. Now, there are instances where it is on the beat. For example, if you take a look at here, we're comping on the beat, on the beat, on the beat, and then we're off again. There's places where you would put it in and use the chords. It's good to just kind of think about comping in that regard. And let's continue on to the next line. So I think it's interesting if you go to this bar, which is the last bar on that line, where you've got A flat major 7. So the melody note is on 4, and then the comping is on and. And then in the next line, it's also on the and. Now, of course, you don't have to do that. I'm just making some suggestions for comping, which I think is often a good idea if you haven't actually thought about comping in those terms before. So it's always about pushing ahead the beat, always on the and of the next beat. So you're often alternating hands. Again, it does it again. And again. I think it's important to just get the feel of that, because when you talk about swing, it's always on the end. Right? Got to get that feel down. I have other videos that I talk about playing swing, but it's not always the easiest thing to do. So that's why I wrote out the comping line. I think it's pretty good. You know, it's a little difficult to play, but you'll get through it. So what I'm going to do is play the introduction, which we did in the first video, which is that long introduction, which is the whole tune in rubato style. And I'm going to play that through once, and then we're going to introduce the bass and drums and just start off with the melody and that left-hand comping, which hopefully is pretty close to what I've written here, and then a couple of choruses of solo and then head out. And then in our next video, what we're going to do is talk about soloing over this tune, because I do play a few choruses of solo that I'm about to play for you, and we'll talk about the ideas that you need in your head in order to accomplish that. Okay, so link to backing track below, also link to the sheet music, and let me play the tune through once, and then I'll see you in the next video. If you like this one, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That'd be awesome. Thanks so much for your time.